The forgotten planet of Ossier was always invisible to the eyes of the Republic. The light of the Jedi never reached such a remote corner of the galaxy, where the Hutts had ruled for decades, maintaining their criminal operations, human trafficking, and brutal control through fear and oppression. But the shadow of the Empire reached where the light never had. The common people celebrated when Star Destroyers landed carrying thousands of stormtroopers. The hope of living free from chains was greater than any fear of what would come in their place. Young Aether Falk, only 10 years old, played cards with his friends while his parents served Draxo, the Hutt leader who ruled the planet. Draxo was no lazy slug like his relative Jabba of Tatooine. He kept himself in shape by dueling slaves, promising freedom to any opponent who could defeat him. But that never happened.
Gaius Corvin, Imperial Governor, filled the Hutt's halls with troops, only to pull up a chair and negotiate with the crime lord. Desperate, Aethor's parents knelt before Corvin, pleading for help, pleading for freedom. Corvin simply looked at them, coldly, in silence. But Draxo grew irritated at the slaves' boldness and opened the trapdoor beneath their feet, sending them plunging into the execution platform, where several starving Gundarks were unleashed. The event sparked an uprising among the slaves, who, believing the Empire would aid them, turned against the Hutts. The result was a hail of blaster fire, with both the Hutts and the Empire opening fire on the slaves. Aethor Falk watched friends, family, and everyone he knew fall around him, and with sharp instinct, played dead. As cleaning droids hauled away the bodies, the boy listened to the deal being struck. The Hutts would continue ruling the region in exchange for tributes and loyalty to the Empire. All the waste was discarded in a desert zone, and Aethor didn't even have his parents' bones to bury.
10 years passed, and nothing changed on the planet. But Aethor grew up on the streets as a jack-of-all-trades, taking on every kind of work and craft. He cleaned travelers' ships, tended farmers' mounts, planted and hunted. He started by hunting animals and ended up hunting fugitives, working as a bounty hunter and even a sheriff's deputy. His easy smile and good humor hid the darkness of his past, and the lessons of the hunt revealed an uncommon talent for shooting, with aim to rival that of Cad Bane. While living on the streets, he met Alessar Vero and Brian Cassia, both orphans who had managed to build better lives, becoming healers. They married and opened a place to treat the wounded and the sick. Whenever he finished a job, Aethor would visit his friends. But he didn't always find the best company around, as humans were seen as slaves and inferior beings by the Hutts and pirates of the region. And one fine day, things spiraled out of control.
"Come here, girl!" ordered a Clatoonian pirate. Bryn's face was bruised and her eyes were filled with tears. Her husband, Alessin, was in an even worse state, covered in welts. The Clatoonians were having fun insulting and beating him. Furious and wanting to protect his wife, Alessin grabbed the first blunt object he could find and lunged at the pirates. He was hit in the leg by a blaster shot. Despite the apocalyptic scene, Aethor entered the room in a calm, unassuming manner.
"Hello, Bryn. How much longer until you're free? I have an appointment with you right now, and my leg is killing me."
This human female will keep us entertained for today. If there's anything left of her, you can come back tomorrow. But you can take the other one. We're done with him.
Aethor smiled at Vulos. "Tomorrow I need to attend a funeral, but I believe a few credits might change your mind." Setting aside one Whoopiope for each Clatonian, Aethor tossed 7 of the Hutt coins at Vulos' feet, and the moment Vulos looked down, he heard only a single shot. The instant Vulos hit the floor, 2 more blaster bolts had already crossed the room, dropping 2 more Clatonians. The 4 remaining Clatonians took cover behind the equipment scattered around the room,
firing and cursing at Aether. Without letting his smile fade for even a moment, Aether hurled a concussion grenade at the ceiling, bouncing it directly in front of Thrak, who collapsed, immobilized, his blaster sent flying by the impact. The three henchmen panicked, seeing their last leader fall. One of them rushed toward Bryn to use her as a hostage, but was shot before he had the chance to make any demands.
However, in his haste to save his friend, Aethor exposed himself too much and took a blaster shot to the shoulder. The two remaining enemies rushed in to finish him off, but Aethor managed to get back up and kick the equipment in front of him just fast enough to knock down another Clatonian. He dodged the last pirate shot by rolling forward and took him down with a leg sweep. Snatching the pirate's own blaster, he finished off his final enemy. Still smiling, he reached out a hand to Alessan, intending to help his friend up, but heard heavy footsteps right behind him. Aethor turned quickly, but not quickly enough. Thrak had already recovered from the concussion grenade's effect, and with his enormous body full of rage, struck Aethor across the face with a battle staff. The blow was so powerful that Aethor spun twice through the air before crashing to the ground, his mouth red with blood. Thrak kept coming, kicking Aethor while roaring.
You filthy human! You'll beg for death when I'm done with you.
Aethor tried rolling backward to gain some distance, but was grabbed and hurled against the wall. He tried throwing some equipment at the Clatonian, but he was already out of strength and out of ideas. The throws were completely useless. Thrak seized him by the throat, his back pressed against the cold wall. The pirate's green bulldog mouth with its bantha dung breath blowing straight into his face, almost as if whispering something in his ear. But the pirate's hands began to lose their grip. Slowly, Aethor's senses returned, and he could hear multiple blaster shots. It was Alessan, who had crawled to the blaster Thrak had dropped after being hit by the concussion grenade. Furious, his friend showed no mercy with the ammunition against the pirate, who was now far beyond anything medicine could fix.
Now it was Bryn who pulled both of them up and helped them sit down. Aethor took a good look around the room and, limping, walked over to the coins he had tossed at Vulos's feet, picking one up. He looked at his friends, without the usual smile on his face.
It seems one of the Clatunians won't be attending the funeral.
The pirate struck by the equipment Aethor had kicked was gone. He knew that as soon as Draxo heard about the massacre of his men, there would be dire consequences. Once again, the gangsters would force him to take a new turn in his life. But this time, he was ready to fight back.
Pack your things, my friends. The Hutts won't let this go cheaply.
Did you enjoy Aethor's story? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support is essential for us to keep working on the continuation of this journey. Thank you so much for watching, and you're always welcome here at Hidden Timeline of Vermilion.